Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Tulsi Maharani Jaya, Vrinda Devi Jaya, Tulsi Maharani Jaya, Vrinda Devi, Vrinda Devi Jaya, Tulsi Maharani Jaya, Vrinda Devi Jaya, Vrinda Devi Sajavajamo Namaha. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Jai Radha Golokananda Radha Golokananda Radhe Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Gurudev Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Maharaj, for kindly being present here. Hare Krishna. It is Vaishnava culture to glorify the audience before we begin any particular event. Sri Rupa Goswami composed all his literature by glorifying the audience, and all of you are present here as the Vaishnava audience. Thank you so much for kindly being present here. Panchabhihi sah sthatavyam gantavyam panchabhihi sah vaktavyam na dukkham panchabhihi sah. It is said panchabhihi sah sthatavyam. One should stay at one place with 5 people at least. That way, if we have an argument with one person, there are 4 other people we can talk to. Gantavyam panchabhihi sah. If we are traveling, we should travel with at least 5 people, so that if we fall in some difficulty, there are 5 people to protect us. And panchabhihi sah vaktavyam. If we want to speak something, there should be at least 5 people, but there are much more than 5. There are 10 people. Na dukkham. Panchabhisa. There is no unhappiness. There is all happiness if at least 5 are present. But today 10 are present here, so my happiness is twice the amount. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mother Urmila, for kindly being present here. This particular topic that I wish to present today is known as 3 types of discussions. This topic was developed as a part of the hermeneutics course by the Shastric Advisory Committee under the leadership of Mother Urmila, who is present here. So she can find all the faults and correct at the end of the presentation, but I am still trying to speak something. It is also Vaishnav culture to do some Mangalacharan, some auspicious invocation. I'll do very quick Mangalacharan and then I'll begin speaking. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mukam karoti vachalam Pangum langhayate girim Yat kripam tamaham vande Shri Gurum Deenataranam. So dear devotees, there is a very famous quote by an American movie producer. He says something. Aditya Narayan Prabhu, you have a loud enough voice. You kindly repeat. But no, your voice is resounding. Oh, acha. So, there's a very famous quote, and this quote is in front of us. Prabhuji, kindly read.
Agree all the time, then one is useless.
Right. And it doesn't end there.
Both are useless.
So if 2 men on the same job agree on all the time, which means that if 2 people have the same opinion on all issues, then you don't need 2 people. Yeah. One of them is irrelevant. And if 2 people disagree all the time, you don't need both of them because there's only going to be quarrel and argument. So dear devotees, we have differences of opinion because we have different individualities. And because of being different individuals, it is natural that we will have some difference of opinion. And this difference of opinion can be over anything minor or it can be anything major. And it is not that those who are present in the spiritual world do not have differences of opinion. Even acharyas who are residents of the spiritual world may have differences of opinion. Srila Prabhupada once specified in a letter to his disciple on 19th February 1972, the disciple was asking about differences of opinion between previous acharyas, and Prabhupada said the following. Kindly read, Prabhu.
As for your question about Shantaras and the opinions of Rupa Goswami and Sridhar Swami, I don't remember. You can send me the appropriate passages. There is no reason why acharyas cannot differ on certain points.
There is no reason why even the acharyas cannot differ on certain points. Dear devotees, it is obvious that because 2 different acharyas are 2 different individuals, there will be some difference of opinion arising from time to time. Another classic difference of opinion also arises between Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Srila Jiva Goswami in their respective commentaries to Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, one of the 64 limbs of bhakti is Naivedya, to accept the offerings given unto the Supreme Lord. To accept prasad is one of the 64 limbs of bhakti. Srila Jiva Goswami says one should not accept prasad in front of the deity. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says this is not the case. One can accept prasad in front of the deity, but one should not chew betel nut, pan, betel leaf in front of the deity. There we have a difference of opinion between Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Srila Jiva Goswami. both of whom are acharyas of our sampradaya. Now, as soon as a difference of opinion arises, the question is, why do two people begin arguing over differences of opinion? Why do two people start, arguing, counter-arguing, giving reasons on both sides? Ultimately, who is to blame for all the arguments that take place in the world? The Srimad Bhagavatam says that there is one person to blame for all the argumentation that takes place in the world. And that person is Bhagavan Krishna himself. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, the blame for all argumentation is placed solely on the shoulders of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. This is a verse in the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. I will sing the verse, kindly repeat after me. Yachaktayo vadatam vadinam vai
Yachaktayo vadatam vadinam vai
Vivada samvada bhuvo bhavanti
Vivada samvada bhuvo bhavanti
Kurvanti chaisham muhuratma moham
Kurvanti chaisham muhuratma moham
Tasmai namo nanta gunaya bhumne.
Tasmai namo nanta gunaya bhumne.
So here is the translation, Prabhu, kindly read.
Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the all-pervading Supreme Personality of Godhead, who possesses unlimited transcendental qualities, acting from within the cores of the hearts of all philosophers who propagate various views. He causes them to forget their own souls, while sometimes agreeing and sometimes disagreeing among themselves. Thus he creates within this material world a situation in which they are unable to come to a conclusion. I offer my obeisances unto him.
Oh, so what a way to glorify Bhagavan by indirectly critiquing him. I offer my obeisance to that Lord who causes all the argumentation in the world. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is glorified in an opposite way. Shamya Shastra Vivadaya. Sri Sanatana Goswami says he is the one who calms down all argumentations in Shastra. But Srimad Bhagavatam glorifies Bhagavan in an opposite way. Obeisances unto that Lord who causes all the argumentation by sitting within the hearts of the various philosophers. So if a particular person is arguing in a particular way, we know that they are being impelled by somebody within the heart. And who is that person within the heart? Bhagavan is within their heart. And it is Bhagavan who is impelling within their heart to argue in a certain way. It is said Bhagavan is Parjanyavat. Parjanyavat means Bhagavan is like rainfall. Yesterday there was rainfall. So Bhagavan is like rainfall. He falls equally. He is equal to everybody. But rainfall falls everywhere. In one place you will have a wonderful plant of gardenia which will give beautiful fragrant flowers. Another place you will see a thorny plant growing. Both of them grow because of the rainfall. So ultimately, is the rainfall to blame for the thorny plant? No. It is the previous seed that was planted in the ground. The rainfall simply gives impetus to the seed. Similarly, Bhagavan simply gives impetus to the previous samskaras that the jivas have accumulated over unlimited previous lives. So Bhagavan is simply the stimulant, but the previous arguments have come from the previous lives and the previous samskaras of the jiva. And therefore, this argumentation occurs because jivas see the same situation of the material world from different points of view, and then they begin arguing. Often on social media, you will find that there is a Facebook friend who pops up only to disagree with you. How many of you have had this particular experience? Otherwise, they will not say anything. They won't even say, wow, this was nice, I liked it. No. But when they want to disagree, suddenly they will publicly comment. So often you have people who engage in such behavior, and this, dear devotees, should be understood. What can we do? What should we do when we engage in a discussion with another person? How to discuss any subject matter with another person like a Vaishnav. So this is specified by understanding the concept of katha. Katha means a dialogue. According to Nyaya Shastra, there are three types of dialogues, but first and foremost, a dialogue is known as katha. Now, a dialogue or katha usually takes place when two people have opposing opinions or slightly different opinions on the same topic. If they have the same opinion, for example, I'll ask you, Aditya Narayan Prabhu, which is your favorite instrument in Kirtan? Please tell me. Huh?
Harmonium.
Harmonium? I don't agree. Mridanga is the favorite instrument. The best instrument is Mridanga. Now, we have a difference of opinion. Now we can begin a discussion. And in this discussion, both want to establish the truth, and both people agree on some common ground rules are decided for the discussion. This is called as katha. Sri Madhvacharya has written an entire literature called Katha Lakshanam, characteristics of katha, characteristics of discussions, where Sri Madhvacharya says something. I'll sing, kindly repeat after me. Vado jalpo vitandeti,
Vado jalpo vitandeti,
trividha vidusham katha.
Trividha vidusham katha.
Vidusham, amongst learned philosophers, trividha katha. Discussions are of three types. What are the three types? First is, dear devotees, kindly repeat after me. Vada.
Vada.
Second is jalpa.
Jalpa.
Third is vitanda.
Vitanda.
So these are three types of discussions that take place between all learned philosophers. So dear devotees, let us try to understand what are the three types. The best type of discussion is known as vada. Often in Srimad Bhagavatam, the discussions are termed as samvada. We say Shukadev Parikshit Samvada. Samvada is complete vada, the best type of discussion that can be had. But what is vada? Sri Madhvacharya defines. Tattva nirnayam uddishya,
Tattva nirnayam uddhishya,
kevalam guru shishyayo,
kevalam guru shishyayo,
kathanyesham api satam,
kathanesham api satam,
vado vasamite shubha.
vado vasamite shubha.
Tattva nirnayam uddishya. When two people discuss something simply for tattva nirnay, arriving honestly at the truth, both people have no other motivation except for arriving at the truth. Kevalam, only arriving at the truth. Guru Shishyayoho, mainly these discussions take place between Guru and disciple. Mainly. And Katha Anyesham api satam. Sometimes other saintly souls can also engage. They may not be related to each other as Guru and disciple. But mainly such discussions have been seen between Guru and disciple. Such discussions are termed as Vadaha, or the best type of discussions where both parties are honestly intent upon arriving at the truth. Now, just because these discussions take place between Guru and disciple doesn't mean that the disciple cannot disagree with the Guru. In many occasions, the disciple have disagreed with their Gurus. Example is Bhagavad Gita, where Arjun says in the first few chapters, Krishna, your words have confused me. Sometimes you are emphasizing Karma Yoga, sometimes you are emphasizing Jnana Yoga. Why are you confusing me with your mixed words? Later, Arjuna says, Krishna, I cannot control my mind so easily. It is easier to control the blowing wind than to control the mind. In 6th canto, when Shukadev Goswami says, Tapasa Brahmacharyena, control your mind by austerity and Brahmacharya, and he gives ascetic practices as the solution, Parikshit Maharaj is unhappy with the solutions. Ascetic practices are not the solution for conquering sinful desires. And then when Shukadev Goswami says, Kechit Kevalaya Bhaktya, only a rare person who adopts full devotional service can conquer all sinful activities. Then Parikshit Maharaj is very happy. Dear devotees, the disciple has every right to disagree with the Guru, because Vedic tradition is a tradition where the disciple has the freedom to engage in a logical discussion. And when there is cordial, respectful dealings with each other, and the honest aim is to arrive at the truth, this is called as Vada. Kindly read the translation, Prabhu.
Discussions primarily between the spiritual master and disciple, or between other saintly souls that are auspiciously aimed only at establishing the truth, are described by the learned as Vada.
So this is the best type of discussion that can be had. Now we have many examples of Vada in Shastra. Practically all the discussions between Guru and disciple that took place, Shri Vidur and Maitreya, Shukadeva Goswami Maharaj Parikshit, all the discussions are termed as Vada or some Vada, complete Vada. But dear devotees, often discussions in the material world don't take this route. Sometimes they also take the route of Jalpa. And Jalpa is second level, where the motivations are not exactly so pure. So Sri Madhvacharya says, Khyatyadyartham spardhaya va satam jalpa itiryate. Khyati. So what is the meaning of Khyati, dear devotees? Khyati means for earning prestige. Sometimes we see in schools debate competitions are organized. In debate competitions, two people are given their topics. You support the Democratic Party, you support the Republicans, and both debate with each other. Now the aim there is not to understand the truth. Both people have to support their particular argument. This is called Khyati and Spardha. Khyati means to attain popularity, Spardha means competition. So in this second type of discussion, two people are engaging in a debate because both of them want to prove that their argument is superior. They want to trivialize the argument of the other party in order to prove the superiority of their argument. This second type of discussion, which is driven by the desire to win, is known as Jalpa. This is the translation, Prabhu. Kindly read.
Discussions driven by the desire to earn prestige or the desire to win a debate are classified by the wise as Jalpa.
So whatever debates take place in school competitions, etc., are not of the category of Vada. They are of the category of Jalpa. Because both parties have fixed their opinions already. And then they are coming not to arrive at the truth. They are coming simply to win. This is Jalpa. In Shastra, dear devotees, can we think of any examples of Jalpa? Any examples in our scriptures for Jalpa? Yes. Keshav Kashmiri, yes. When Keshav Kashmiri came, he started reciting verses on Ganga, like flowing like the Ganga. He recited glories of Ganga. 100 verses were recited. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu picks one verse and starts nitpicking faults with them and says, instead of this, you should have said this. This is a fault according to poetics. So that was Nimai Pandit. Back in the day, Nimai Pandit loved to pick faults with all the other scholars in Navadvip. Whether it is Murari Gupta or whether it is Gadadhar Pandit, he loved to pick a fault and debate because he was a grammarian. And it is said, Vayyakarana Kirata. Grammarians are like hunters. They will hunt you everywhere you go. You may be an expert in astrology, astronomy, anything, medicine, science. But in Vedic culture, the grammarian is the hunter. He hunts everybody. So one time he was saying to Murari Gupta, you are trying to compose poetry in Sanskrit. This is not medicine that you just mix 2 or 3 substances. This is grammar. It is most difficult. Murari Gupta got a little angry and said, test me on any grammatical principle. I have read all the commentaries. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then asked him a few sutras of grammar. Murari Gupta gave the answer and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started pointing out faults in explanation of Murari Gupta. So grammarians are like that. Therefore, in English, we have a phrase, grammar Nazi. You know what is the meaning of grammar Nazi? A person who finds fault simply in grammar because he has no other fault to find. So, that sort of a person, sometimes Sri Chaitanya, that sort of a behavior Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to exhibit. So that is known as Jalpa. Dear devotees, and then there is the lowest type of discussion in Shastra and in real life, which is known as Vitanda. Sri Madhvacharya says, Vitanda tu satamanyai
Vitandatu satam anyai
Tattvam eshu niguhitam.
Tattvameshu nigudhitam.
The worst type of discussion, there is nothing to defend. One of the two people decide that I have nothing remaining to defend, so I will not be able to prove my point, but at least I will defeat the point of the person in front of me. This is called Vitanda. Now, Aditya Narayan Prabhu, you and me, let's engage in Vada, Jalpa and Vitanda. All right, Prabhu? So, Aditya Narayan Prabhu, which is the best instrument in a kirtan?
So, like you want me to start with Vad?
Yes.
So I say Mridanga.
No, you said harmonium.
Okay.
All right, but I say Mridanga. So, Prabhu, is it okay if we look into the scriptures dealing with music and we find out which instruments are best for performing kirtan? Do you agree?
Yes.
All right. There are traditional scriptures for music, Sangeet, such as Sangeet Ratnakar. And according to those literature, we will try to see which instruments are best. Whether instruments of wind, such as harmonium, are best, or instruments of tal, mridanga, are best. And then both of us will look into the scriptures and we'll find out if wind instruments are best, or if instruments of tal, such as mridanga, beat instruments, are best. And then whatever the scriptures say, we will agree upon it. This, dear devotees, is known as which discussion? Vad. We selected a common authority which is independent of both of us. Now Jalpa. Alright? So, once again, Aditya Narayan Prabhu, which is the best instrument in? No, Mridanga. Now you give argument. Why harmonium is best? Why do you think?
With the kirtan, it sounds so good.
Yeah, but the beat, the dancing is produced by the mridanga, not by the harmonium.
The harmonium is so melodious and you have so many.
Oh, Shankha baje, Ghanta baje, baje karatal, Madhura mridanga baje, para Madhura mridanga baje. So, it doesn't Bhakti Vinod Thakur says Madhura mridanga baje. See, now Jalpa has begun. Now he will say something and I will say something. Then you can say, but Prabhupada used to play harmonium, you know. But Prabhupada also played mridanga. So this has no end. This, dear devotees, is Jalpa. Now let's begin with Vitanda. Aditya Narayan Prabhu, which is the best instrument in kirtan? Harmonium? That's because you're horrible at playing mridanga, isn't it? So, immediate character assassination. Dear devotees, this is Vitanda. I didn't even specify which instrument I like. I had no point to prove of my own. My only intention was to destroy the opinion of the person in front of me. This is Vitanda. So, please read the translation, Prabhu.
A discussion that takes place between an honest person and a wicked wrangler, intent only on destroying the genuine arguments of his honest opponent, without paying any heed to the establishment of truth, is called Vitanda.
So, example of Vitanda in scriptures. Yes, Mataji. And Daksha Yagya, where everybody lost the argument, nobody won the argument, but some people not only lost the argument, they also lost their head. And some people lost their beard, and some people lost so many things. So this was one example. Another example is when Krishna starts arguing with Nanda Maharaj over Indra Puja. And then Krishna initially does not give Govardhan Puja as the solution. Krishna initially is simply defeating the opinions of Nanda Maharaj. So initially, without giving any positive alternative, Krishna is speaking Vitanda. Krishna is simply intent on destroying the opinions of Nanda Maharaj. So Sri Jiva Goswami says in Gopal Champu, Krishna engaged in Vitanda at this point of time, before giving Govardhan Puja as the solution. So Krishna himself also sometimes engaged in Vitanda. But Krishna may do that, but we should understand Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that amongst three types of discussions, Vada, Jalpa and Vitanda, Krishna says, I am one of these three. He says in Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter, 32nd verse, please repeat after me. Vadaha pravadatamaham.
Vada pravadatam aham.
So, pravadatam, amongst arguers, I am which type of discussion, dear devotees? Vad. Often it is, this technical detail doesn't come out, because Vada, Jalpa and Vitanda are often not clarified. But Krishna says, Vadaha pravadatamaham. Amongst all discussions, I am the Vada variety of discussion. So dear devotees, this is what Vada is. But Vada also has a very peculiar nature. The term Vada usually means respectful discussion. But the term Vada can also take a completely different meaning, completely opposite meaning. In Hindi or Sanskrit, we also have an opposite meaning of Vada. What is the opposite meaning of Vada, dear devotees? Dry argumentation. Usually Vada means respectful discussion, but sometimes a term can take a completely opposite meaning. So in Hindi we say Vad Vivad. What does Vad Vivad mean? Dry argumentation. In English also there are some terms like this. For example, the English phrase to dust. To dust is a contronym. It can take two completely opposite meanings. To dust means to wipe dust, and to dust also means to sprinkle dust. Both meanings are there in the phrase to dust. Similarly, the English phrase to sanction. To sanction means to approve, or to sanction means to put a sanction on something. So these, dear devotees, are examples of contronyms. Similarly, Vada is also a contronym. Sometimes it means respectful discussion, sometimes Vada means opposite, Jalpa and Vitanda. That is the meaning of Vada. When that is the meaning of Vada, when it takes an opposite meaning, the scriptures say, Vado na avalambya, don't take shelter of Vad. Narad Bhakti Sutra says, don't take shelter of argumentation. Why? Narad Bhakti Sutra says, Bahulyavakashatvad aniyatatvacha. Because argumentation keeps on increasing in scope and it does not reach a fixed conclusion. So dear devotees, as devotees, we are supposed to engage in that respectful variety of Vad, not in Jalpa and Vitanda. And especially a Vaishnav should never engage in argumentative Vad. Krishna says in Srimad Bhagavatam to Uddhav, Shushkavada vivadena
Shushkavada vivadena
Kanchit paksham samashraye.
Kanchit paksham samashraye.
A devotee should never speak like a mere logician or skeptic or take any side whatsoever in useless arguments. So any arguments that are not based on Shastra, a devotee should ideally try to avoid as much as possible. People will come with strong opinions to us. And the best solution is neither to say a yes nor to say a no. The best solution is to say, okay, I'll think about it. I'll think about it. And then one can do whatever one wants. This is known as the okay man solution. Neither yes man nor no man. The most intelligent person is the okay man. Okay, I'll think about it. So Narad Muni specifies this solution in 7th canto. He said an intelligent person, whenever presented with strong opinion, should neither externally agree nor disagree, but should say okay. And in India, this solution was perfected. So they don't say this, they don't do this. They say, oh, okay, I'll. Okay. So we all know Indian people, they may externally say, yeah, okay, but then they will do what they want to do. Because this tradition is there since time immemorial. Don't say yes, don't say no. You say, okay, I'll think about it. And then you do what you actually want to do. But a Vaishnava especially should understand that finally, Vaishnavism is not only about engaging in argumentation, etc. Vaishnavism is to speak sweet words as much as possible. I'll end with this particular verse. It's a very nice subhashit, wisdom quote in Sanskrit literature. Priya Vakya Pradhanena
Priyavakya pradhanena
Sarve Tushyanti Jantavaha
sarve tushyanti jantavaha
Tasmat Tadeva Vaktavyam
tasmat tadeva vaktavyam
Vachane Kadaridrata
vachane ka daridrata.
Priya Vakya Pradhanena. By speaking sweet words, dear devotees, Sarve Tushyanti Jantavaha. Aren't all living entities happy when we speak sweet words to them? Yes. Tasmat, therefore, Tadeva Vaktavyam. Speak only sweet words, dear devotees. Vachane Ka Daridrata. What poverty will we fall in by speaking sweet words? Is the government taxing sweet words? Last time I checked, the government has not put a tax on sweet words. So as much as possible, dear devotees, speak sweet words. This is the translation. Prabhu, kindly read.
By speaking sweet words, all living entities in the world are satisfied. Therefore, speak sweet words. What poverty will you fall in by giving this gift of sweet words to everyone?
So, for example, if me and Aditya Narayan Prabhu had a vitanda, and I said, because you're horrible at playing mridanga, therefore you like harmonium. Later I may meet him and say, Aditya Narayan Prabhu, I want to say something to you. Prabhuji, I think you are very good at the way you deal with all the devotees in the temple. I really like the way you've organized all the festivals. And your spirit of seva is really worthy of appreciation. Now, how is Aditya Narayan Prabhu feeling, dear devotees, at this point of time? Tadeva Vaktavyam. What harm there is in speaking sweet words? Ka Daridrata. What poverty will we fall in by speaking sweet words? We don't have to be a bootlicker, but at the same time, we don't have to be a neem tree all the time. So this, dear devotees, these are three types of discussions, and what a Vaishnava should do. Dear devotees, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. So I think I have respected the time limit. Yeah. Yes.
You said we should. I'm going to be a devil's advocate now.
Okay.
So you said we should speak sweet words, but we find that Prahlad Maharaj was speaking in such a way to agitate his father. And, it might have been speaking sweetly, but he knew it was going to just agitate him and make him angry.
Right. So there is a reason why Prahlad Maharaj was saying that. Prahlad Maharaj is speaking exactly in line with the characteristics of ideal speech in Bhagavad Gita. It says, Anudvega karam vakyam satyam priya hitam chayat swadhyaya bhyasanam chaiva vangmayam tapa uchyate. First characteristic of good speech is anudvega karam. This speech should not agitate the hearts of others. Wonderful. I agree with you. It was agitating. But characteristics don't end there. He has to speak Satya. And Priya, he has to speak the truth in a pleasing manner as far as possible, but Hita, it should be beneficial. He cannot speak sweet lies. He could have spoken sweet lies to Hiranyakashipu. But Prahlad Maharaj ends up speaking the sweet truth, which Hiranyakashipu perceives as very agitating to his heart. So there is nothing that can be done, because in this case, a person affected by jaundice will experience sweet sugar candy also to be bitter. What can be done? So this is the nature of the discussion between Prahlad Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu.
Would this be Vada?
Uh,
How would you classify this?
Yeah, the discussion between Prahlad Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu can be classified as Jalpa, because Hiranyakashipu wanted to win, and Prahlad Maharaj would not tolerate the philosophical defeat of the supremacy of Vishnu. So Sri Prahlad Maharaj is also propagating supremacy of Vishnu. And then Hiranyakashipu says, I'll have you chopped into pieces. And Prahlad Maharaj says, Vishnu Shastresh, Vishnu is present even in the weapons. So by that power I will not be defeated. And then all this discussion is there in the Vishnu Puran and Srimad Bhagavatam. So it is Jalpa. Oh yes, it is very much needed to have Jalpa sometimes. When are Jalpa and Vitanda needed? I knew somebody would ask this question. So in Nyaya Shastra, Gautam Muni says, Tatvadhyavasaya samrakshanartham jalpa vitande bija praroha samrakshanartham kantaka shakha varnavat. Just as thorny fences are employed to protect the growth of valuable seeds, similarly jalpa and vitanda are employed to protect tattva, truths of Shastra, against external attacks. So just as we apply thorny bushes, but we don't use thorny bushes in the entire field. We don't plant the entire field with thorny bushes, but only on the borders, only on the fences, to protect the valuable seeds. Similarly, to protect Vaishnav Siddhantas, we may employ Jalpa and Vitanda. So that is... Okay, thank you. Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
His Grace Hari Pasha Prabhu ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Enam Kanvandam Maravindanalayataksam Bharavatam Samasitam Buddhasundaranam Kandar Ako Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobha. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Andani Asa Sakalen Priya Priti Manti Vasyan Dipan Dikayanti Jiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham
Namagahum Vishnupataya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Guruvani Pajani Visesha Shunyavati Matsya Jagade Zatarane Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Dana Prabhu Nityananda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Goloka Nana Radha Goloka Nana Radhe. Jaya Radha Goloka Nana Radha Goloka Nana Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Radhe Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Radhe Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe. Shri Radhe, Jai Om Vishnu Pad.
Shri Shikshashtakam. Cheto darpanamarjanam bhavamaha davagninirvapanam Shreyah kairav chandrika vitaranam Vidyavadhu jivanam Anandambudhivardhanam pratipadam Purnamritaswadanam Sarvatmasnapanam param vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahudha Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrarpita Niyamita Smaranena Kala Etadrishi Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Jani Nanuragaha Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadhanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Va Jagadish Kamaye Mama Janmani Janmanishware Bhavatad Bhakti Rahaitu Kitvai Ainandatanuja Kinkaram Patitam Ma Vishame Bhavambudhav Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja Stitaduli Sadrisham Vichintaya Nayanam Galadashrudharaya Vadanam Gadgadaruddhaya Gira Pulakair Nichitam Vapuh Kada Tabanama Grahane Bhavishyati Yugaitam Nimeshena Chakshusha Pravrishaitam Shunyaitam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Virahenave Ashlishya Vapadaratam Pinashtuma Adarshanan Marmahatam Karotu Va Yatha Tatha Va Vidadhatu Lampato Mat Prananathastu Sa Eva Na Paraha. Shri Chaitanya Shikshashtakam Ki Jai.
And this Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benedictions to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you've invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw on the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should